So I am here in Los Angeles, California. I actually came here to do some work, conduct a little bit of business. I was at TikTok headquarters yesterday, and one of the few perfumes that I actually brought with me rather, is Akoya by Vivamor Parfum. Now, of course, it goes without saying that this is a brand that I discovered 2022 when it first came out. This is a sister brand to Navitus Parfum. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am the founding creative director of Navitus Parfum. However, I have very little to do with Vivamor Parfum, save my release of Main Character, which actually just sold out. The second batch sold out on the website some time ago. We gave a limited quantity to a reseller on TikTok, and that was officially sold out as well. So the second batch is like totally gone. Super grateful for that. But I'm here to talk about Akoya, which is, in my opinion, a masculine leaning fragrance from the brand. There's lemon, there's grapefruit, there's incense, there's ginger. So it's a very bright, fresh, citrusy and spicy fragrance, while also having a little bit of that dark, mysterious, incensey edge in the dry down. Now, interestingly enough, as soon as this fragrance opens up, what I am reminded of is Bleu de Chanel. And I say that only because I know Bleu de Chanel has incense and grapefruit. However, this fragrance goes in a very different direction. I think the ginger makes a statement. I think it's different enough. I think it cuts away from that sort of a dark, earthy, balsamic quality that Bleu de Chanel has, and this one is much brighter, much more geared in the direction of the incense. By the way, I think it's also worth mentioning that the perfumer for this is Chris Maurice. Oh, it's so fresh. Otherwise known as Christian Carbonell. For those of you who don't know, he is the perfumer behind many Xerjoff fragrances. He has done fragrances for many other brands as well, Casa Moratti, which falls under the Xerjoff umbrella. And then he's also done, I think a couple zoologists. Like, he's done so many fragrances, like you have no idea. And he's an amazing guy. He's based out of Barcelona, Spain. I've had the pleasure of meeting up with him in person on a number of occasions. I'm sure I'm going to be seeing him again very soon. And whenever he puts his name on something, I know it's a fragrance that is going to perform very well. This one is no exception, no slouch in the performance department. As a matter of fact, for a fresh fragrance to get 9 hours from it is a bit of a monumental accomplishment. I mean, normally speaking, whenever I wear a fresh fragrance, especially something that is quite citrus heavy, the expectation is that I'm going to get anywhere in the vein of like 4, 5, maybe 6 hours. So to get upwards of like 8 or 9 hours is quite impressive. This fragrance here is an extrait de parfum. So we're talking about somewhere in the vein of like anywhere between 26% oil to 30% oil, which is kind of a motif for the brand. I know the fragrance that I creatively directed, Main Character, that one is concentrated at 30. Made by a different perfumer, however. That perfumer is Christian Provenzano, but that's besides the fact. I know the brand does want to put out and manufacture fragrances that are very, very strong, and that is the case for the sister brand as well, which is Navitus Parfum. I love this fragrance. I think this is a very easygoing, super mass appealing, huge compliment getter, by the way. There's a lot of fragrances from the brand where I would only recommend them to you if I can get a good understanding of what your taste is going to be all about. So in other words, if you're telling me, man, I really love the gourmands, I would say, okay, check out Choco Exclusive, check out Dark Indulgence, check out Caramel Pop. If you're telling me I really like fruits, I'm into more tropical fragrances, not so much into the gourmands, I would say you have to try Tagomago. You have to try Midnight Hour or Magic Hour, excuse me. If you're telling me, nope, I want the fresh, you have to do Dubai Reverie or you have to do Akoya. So again, it's one of those fragrances where, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, I think this one is going to be a bit more appropriate for the gentleman out there, and for good reason. I think it's a very mass appealing, safe for the office, great on a date as well. It's something that is not going to try to reinvent the wheel. It's not a challenging DNA. It doesn't push any envelopes. It's just a very friendly, mass appealing, easygoing, easy to wear fragrance. And I know it's named after the Akoya pearl. Yeah, it's a lot of that lemon and grapefruit in the opening just creates this vivacious, it's very, very fresh. I mean, that's the best way to sum it up. I know I can keep talking about it tooth and nail, but I will always revert back to saying that it's fresh, it's citrus heavy, a hint of incense, not smoky. The spiciness of the ginger contributes to the freshness very beautifully, and it's a very long-lasting, mass-appealing, compliment-getting fragrance. It is a distant cousin to Bleu de Chanel. If I had to make any frame of reference, any comparison whatsoever, I would just say it is a distant cousin to Bleu de Chanel, but it still shines in its own way. Akoya by Vivamor Parfum. If you haven't tried this, I know it's available on the official website. I'm pretty sure you can get it on TikTok as well. And I'm sure you can sample it if you look around as well. A lot of places carry this, including Oswald in Manhattan, and also I believe Emmanuel in Manhattan carries Vivamor Parfum as well. So thank you for watching. I appreciate your viewership, and I appreciate you spending the day with me, or these past 10 minutes with me, however long this video ends up being. If you took anything of value from today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and also giving this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot. Thanks again for watching. I love you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode.